Hello guys, so in this video we are going to do the diameter of a binary tree problem from Leetcode. So diameter is something, you, if you want you can read the question, but I'll just give the gist of it. So diameter is something like we traverse from one leaf node to another leaf node, and that path should have the maximum number of nodes in it. So in this situation, in this tree, if you see, if you traverse from 4 to 1 3, it has the maximum number of nodes, which, right? So, and since it is the question is saying that we just need to calculate the edges between them. So if we have 4 nodes, that means we have 3 edges, and we are returning 3 here. Similarly, it also has 5 to 1 5 to 1 3, which is also like 3 edges in between those 4 nodes. So that is the diameter of this binary tree. So how to solve this question? If you remember, I'm going to be tweaking the maximum depth of a binary tree problem just a little bit. So what I'll be doing is if you can observe that this question suggests that you have to find a path which has maximum edges, right? So if you see at it, at 1 we will be calculating the left height, the right height. So whatever node that has the most, like maximum sum of left height plus right height, that node will be that path will be the diameter of the diameter of the tree. For example, if we consider 1, we will find the left height of this left height of this left subtree, and we get 1 2. It has 2, and right is 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. At 1 we get left height plus right height as 3. At 2, if we calculate, left height is 1, right height is also 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 is greater than 2, that's why we will be returning 3. So basically we are finding the maximums. We will be just be doing similar to maximum depth of a binary tree, but in between we will be calculating the left height plus right height, and check if it is greater than the maximum maximum height that we have found so far. So let's get with it. If not root, it is an empty, then empty root, then we will just return 0, that it doesn't have any diameter. Now I'll write a function define find let's say we are working with maximum depth, right? So we will write this as maximum depth only. For now, let me pass it, and then we will be returning. So for this, I have to keep track of the variable, that is left height of the subtree of a node, and a right height as well. Like I have to add those things together and check if it is greater than the previous number. So what I am going to do is, I'm going to take an list of maximum height, initialize with it 0. Why I'm taking a list? It is because it is easier to pass a list as a reference, and we don't have to worry about the recursion. We don't have to return it or anything. We just keep adding values to this list, and we can return at the end of our code from this list. If we take a variable, we will have to return that variable all the time, and since we are working with max depth, we can't return the single variable. We have to calculate the depth as well. So the other thing you can do is, we can probably take something like this, self dot max depth. This is a global variable. If you keep adding to this in the recursion, it will not go away, and we won't be having to return it. But this will not work unless you have a class always like this. In interviews, you probably won't want to solve the question using a class. You would probably doing using a function only. So it is better to have max height as a list instead of this global variable. All right. Now what I'll be doing is I'll be adding the sum of left height plus right height to this list, and at the end of our recursion we will get the max height. The last number in the max height will be the diameter of binary tree. So what we'll do is we will return max HERGST max height -1. All right, now I have to call this function, right? Max depth. After this I'll be calling this function, and since we don't want anything to be returned here, I'll keep just as it is. I don't need to assign anything here. Now if instead of root, I'll just to be clear, I'll just put it node. If not node, I return 0. This will be just simple code of maximum depth of binary tree. Now I'll be calculating left height. Left height equal to max depth node dot left, and we are returning max GST. We are just sending the reference of it so we can process on it later. So this is left height. Now we do the similar things for right height. Right height max depth of a right subtree and max height. Now I'll first, this is if you remember, this is the code for maximum depth of a tree, binary tree. I will just be returning 1 plus max of a left height and right height. Now here comes the question, like as I mentioned, for the diameter we need to have the maximum sum of left subtree plus right subtree, maximum sum of the height of left subtree and the right subtree. So we got the left height here, right height here, and then we will do if left height plus right height is greater than max height. But since if you remember, we have taken a max height as list, we can't just return right here greater than max height. We have to compare the last element in this list. So last element is taken as -1. So if we compare this, if it is true, we will just append that sum to this max height list. There you go. So now it will calculate, like if the left height plus right height is greater than current max height at the end, then it will just append this new value there. So at the end of this loop, at the end of this code, we will get max height array, and it will be filled with some values, but the end value that is there, it will be the diameter of this binary tree. If you run this code, max depth not defined, DPTG, sorry. Now it is done. 3. Let's submit it, and it is accepted. So this is the code for diameter of a binary tree. Thank you guys.